Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be doing a guide for the Ottomans for EU4 1.31 Leviathan. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to leave a like and subscribe since only 20% of you are subscribed, and you can become a member today. So, the Ottomans, probably the most powerful nation in EU4 in 1444, probably the easiest nation for beginners in EU4, and it's one of the recommended nations for new players as well. Now I know you're thinking, okay, why would you do a guide for the Ottomans since they're so easy, but a lot of people have been asking for it, so why not? So like I said, they are the most powerful nation in 1444, and in the hands of the player, you will remain the most powerful until the end of the game. So let's take a look at everything we need to do as them. First, we're gonna go over here and adopt the title of Khalifa, denounce sect practices, enforce religious unity, and expand the Devshirme system. Next, we're gonna add some rivals, like the Mamluks, Austria, and Hungary. Why not? Then we're gonna go into our estates and summon the Diet. You can pick whichever agenda is best for you. Then we're gonna give the Ulama religious state, clerical advisory council, we're gonna give the Umera increased levies and aristocratic councillors, we're gonna give the merchant guilds patronage of the arts and commercial advisory board, as well as indebted to the merchant guilds. The Demi already start with guaranteed Demi autonomy, but we're also gonna give them guaranteed religious minority rights. Then we're gonna seize land. Next we're gonna select this fleet right here and destroy 2 transports. We're gonna select this light ship fleet and build 2 more. We're gonna build 13 more galleys. There we go. We are way over force limit, it's not gonna matter at all. And just detach these transports because we're not gonna be using them that often. Next we're gonna attach our general to this army here and give our ruler military command and attach him to the other army. Now we're gonna conscript some janissaries. They're a special unit type that's available only for the Ottomans. So we're gonna conscript 4 janissaries from Macedonia. It will cost us 40 mil points. And once we get more mil points, we're also gonna conscript 4 from Bulgaria and 2 from Silistria. Now we can fulfill the mission, reform the Imperial Army. For your naval doctrine, you should select shipboarding if you never want to build another ship during your game, or you can also select free oarsmen for plus 15% galley combat ability. They're both very good as the Ottomans. I'm gonna select shipboarding. Next, we're also gonna hire some advisors. I'm gonna take this prestige guy, a diplo rep or improve relations guy would be great. I don't have one, so I'm gonna get the spy network guy, and a morale or a discipline guy would be great. I have a morale guy. Next, we need an ally or 2. You don't really need them, but it's nice to have them. Usually Tunis will always be available, so I am gonna send an alliance offer to Tunis, and I'm gonna royal marry Crimea. You should also get Tunis and Crimea, and ideally Bohemia as well. I can't get them right away, so I am gonna improve with them and ally them later. Now we're just gonna let a couple of more months tick by so we can conscript janissaries from Bulgaria and from Silistria. We're gonna need about 50 more military points for that. Now that this diplomat is back, we're also gonna build a spy network on Byzantium. So now it's March 1445. I've recruited 2 janissaries in Silistria, and now I'm gonna get 4 more from Bulgaria. Now we can also fulfill the mission built to land force limit. And we're gonna send these 4 guys to this army, these 4 guys to this army, and these 2 guys to this army once again. We're also gonna hire an admiral for our galley fleet. Now that our armies are set up, it's time to declare our first war. It's gonna be against Chandar. Usually they won't have any strong allies. The strongest nation they can ally is pretty much Crimea. In my case, they're allied to Dulkadir over here. And just send your armies on the borders of Chandar and whoever you're fighting, along with the light ship fleet in the eastern Black Sea. And now it's time to declare. If Chandar is allied to Ramazan or Dulkadir, you can co-belligerent them, so you can vassalize them. If they're allied to someone like Karaman or Crimea, then you're just gonna white piece these other nations. In my case, they are allied to Dulkadir, so I am gonna co-belligerent Dulkadir. And this is just a simple war. Once your light ships have finished recruiting, you can send them to protect trade in Constantinople, but make them go home during war. We're also gonna start focusing on admin. Like I said, if you're also fighting Dulkadir or Ramazan in this first war against Chandar, you are gonna vassalize them. In my case, it is Dulkadir, so I am gonna vassalize them. If it's Karaman or someone else, just white piece them. And of course, we are gonna full annex Chandar. That's our first war done. Now it's time to fight Byzantium. Now I've also just been able to ally Bohemia, you should be able to do the same, and you should have 2 claims on Byzantium. Of course on Constantinople, and 1 down here. I've made mine on Athens. It is the most expensive province, so that's why I built it on that one. At this point we're also gonna send 2 diplomats to improve with outraged countries, and it's time to declare on Byzantium. Whoever they're allied with, just white peace them. In my case they're allied to Serbia, so I'm just gonna white peace them. Now I did white peace Serbia in my case, and if they're allied to Byzantium, sure, you could take the gold mine over here from them in the first war. It's really not necessary, we are making enough money as the Ottomans, so you will have it anyway in your second war against them, or maybe in your first if they weren't allied to Byzantium. And of course we will be full annexing Byzantium, along with Athens. Now once this war is done, we will get the option to make Constantinople our capital. Make sure to click this and not actually core the province, because we basically get a free core on it with this decision. With this, we also become an empire, which is excellent. Now it's time to chill a bit and wait for all of these truces with these nations over here to run out. You will also be able to fulfill the mission City of the World's Desire, where we get claims on some provinces in Greece. Basically, now we need to conquer Epirus. At this point, we have 3 monuments. We have the Hagia Sophia in Constantinople, which is a decent monument. We're not really gonna focus that much on upgrading it. We have the Parthenon in Athens. It's a great monument. We are gonna be focusing on upgrading it. And we have the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. We are also going to be focusing on upgrading this one. At this point you can also revoke your guarantee on Ragusa. It's useless, to be honest. Once our cores in Greece have finished, by this point your truce with everyone you had truces with is probably up. So it is time to declare on Karaman. We're just gonna white peace whoever they're allied to. In my case it's Akkuyunlu. Once we defeat Karaman, and I did white peace Akkuyunlu, we are gonna make them our subject and take all their money. Now it's once again time to chill for like a year and then fight Epirus. At this point, you can also fulfill the mission Consolidate Asia Minor. This gives us claims on some provinces over here. For our first idea group as the Ottomans, I recommend taking admin ideas. We're gonna need that minus 25% CCR paired with our own minus 20 from our national ideas. The minus 10% admin tech cost is great. The plus 25% governing capacity is definitely needed since we're gonna be blobbing hard. And all the merc stuff are really good too, or if we're ever low on manpower. This is a classic opener for a massive blobbing game or even a world conquest. Once you reach admin tech 5, you will be able to take the Adopt the Provincial Government System national decision. It will give us plus 10% tax for plus 1% national unrest, and we also lose 50 admin power. I do recommend taking it. In my case, Bohemia just called me into war versus Austria and Hungary. This is something that could happen, of course, once you ally them, so I am just gonna help them out, and after that I'm gonna continue my conquest. Once we unlock Diplotech 4, we're of course gonna start building marketplaces in all our center of trade provinces. We do have a bunch of them, like Constantinople, Buda Vendigor, Shugla, Salonik, Athens, Sinop, and so on. You already know which provinces are centers of trade. And we're also going to be upgrading the level 1 centers of trade to level 2 ones. I can't do it right now because I'm in this war. For our tier 2 government reform, we are gonna take strength and noble privileges. The Ottomans also have a unique government type, the Ottoman government, which gives us plus 0.5 yearly legitimacy, minus 10% unjustified demands, plus 5 max absolutism, and plus 150 governing capacity. This is also a good time to start improving relations and trying to ally with whoever controls the Hanbali Scholar for minus 10% aggressive expansion impact. Usually it's Najd, but in my case it's Yas. So I am gonna start improving relations and attempting to ally them, so that I will be able to invite the Hanbali Scholar. You should be doing the same. Sometime during this period, you may also get the Fate of the Crimean Khanate event, if Crimea chooses to become your subject, of course. If they do so, you can choose to make them a march, or you can reject it. Of course, you should choose to make them a march if you get this decision. Sometimes they choose to remain independent. It's really not a big deal if you get them or not. Now I just got out of this war because, well, Bohemia is not doing very well. Either way, I have managed to ally and Royal Mary Yas, which means I can invite the Hanbali Scholar. This will give us minus 10% aggressive expansion. At this point, you can also start annexing any one of Ramazan or Dulkadir if you got them as a subject in the first war versus Chandar. If you don't have them, it's totally not a big deal. And like I said, now it's time to declare on Epirus if they still exist. We're just gonna white peace whoever they're allied to. Of course, we are gonna be full annexing Epirus. Now, once you have all the provinces over here that Epirus, Byzantium, and Athens used to own, you will be able to take the mission Conquer Greece. This mission gives us claims on Serbia's original provinces, as well as some provinces in the Aegean Sea. Once you have 2 or 3 subjects, you can also give the Umera strong duchies. Once we're done with Epirus, it's time to fight Serbia. If they still exist, they could be full annexed by Hungary or Venice during this time. In my case, we can see that Venice has taken provinces from them over here. Either way, if they're allied to someone like Bosnia or Herzegovina, you should co-belligerent one of those 2 nations. If they're allied to someone like Albania or Wallachia, just white peace them. And if they're guaranteed by Hungary, it can sometimes happen, just take money and war reps from Hungary. We are going to be vassalizing Serbia either way because they are pretty big. If they have all of their original provinces, you may not be able to vassalize them, so you're just gonna take this state from them down here, which Venice owns in my situation. In my case, they're also not allied to anyone, which isn't that common, to be honest. And once the war with Serbia is done, like I said, we are gonna vassalize Bosnia or Herzegovina if they were allied to them and we co-belligerented them. In my case, that didn't happen. And if Serbia have all their provinces, we're gonna be taking this state from them, but if not, we are gonna be vassalizing them. In my case, now I can use them to reconquer some cores they have from Venice and Hungary. Now it's time to chill a bit. If Bosnia and Herzegovina still exist during this time, you may want to check if some of them will accept a diplomatic vassalization by you. In my case, both of those nations will accept, so I am gonna try and diplo-vassalize Bosnia. Of course, you may already have one of these nations if you co-belligerented them while they were allied with Serbia. Since we have the unique Ottoman government type, we basically get to choose our heir, and there's always 3 options. Sometimes, if an heir dies, you will automatically get a bad one like a 1-1-1, but most of the time you will get this decision. So you can choose the strongest, the studious, or the entrepreneurial son. Just pick whoever is best. In my case, these 2 are equal, they both have 10 monarch points, but I'm gonna get the 3-3-4 one instead of the 5-3-2 one. And I have managed to diplo-vassalize Bosnia after I got them to 190 relations. Of course, it just dropped because they became my vassal, but this is something that you could do if Bosnia or Herzegovina exist. For your first age ability, you should of course take the Guns of Urban. This is a unique age ability for the Ottomans, and it gives us plus 33% siege ability. Now it's time to declare on whoever controls these provinces. In my case, it's Akyunlu, and they're bigger than they should be because they just defeated QQ in a war. In your case, they will probably be smaller. Now, the most important thing in this first war versus Akyunlu is not actually the provinces we have claims on, but it's the province of Raqqa, because the nation of Syria has a core on this province, and I will explain that in more detail once we actually take it. The strongest ally Akyunlu can have is someone like Ajam, so it shouldn't be a problem at all. And once we've defeated Akyunlu, like I said, we are gonna be taking the province of Raqqa. It's the most important one, along with 2 or 3 other provinces. This is what I'm gonna take in my situation because I do have high aggressive expansion. I'm also gonna take all their money. Now once that's all done, we are going to be releasing the nation of Syria from Raqqa. There we go. Now Syria, they have cores on all of these provinces over here, which will be located in the Mamluks, maybe Fadl if they still exist, and 1 more province over here. These are all very nice provinces, very high dev, centers of trade, and it will be way cheaper and way faster to conquer them this way, and will knock down the Mamluks even faster. Now it's time to get back to the Balkans. During this point, you may also be able to start annexing Karaman. Now once we've taken care of AQ and released Syria, it's time to declare on Albania. As you guys know, they are guaranteed by Venice, and in my case, they've also allied the Pope. So in this war, we are going to be declaring on Albania for a reconquest for our cores, but we're also going to try and co-belligerent Venice and check if they have any strong allies like Austria or France or someone like that. In my case, they don't. So I am gonna co-belligerent them in order to get Bosnia and Serbia's cores back from them. In your case, if they don't have provinces here that you can use to reconquest for Bosnia and Serbia, you can try and take these provinces down here, such as Crete, this one, or this one, and Durazzo as well. Maybe even these 2 up here. Basically, take whatever you can from Venice if you can co-belligerent them. If not, just take money and stuff from them, and you're gonna fight them directly in a future war. For your third government reform, I recommend taking decentralized bureaucracy. We're going to be conquering a lot of cultures as the Ottomans. We are an empire of Levantine culture, but we will need to promote some bigger ones, like Persian, for example, or Tunisian. And like I said in my case, I am going to be making Venice give back their cores to Bosnia and Serbia. If this isn't the situation in your game, you can take this province, this one down here, this one, and this one from them. I'm also going to get all their money. you are also going to be full annexing Albania. You do have cores on them. Now it's time to chill a bit. Once you do own all of Serbia, maybe it took you only one war instead of two, like in my case, you will be able to unlock this mission. It gives us claims on Bosnia and Wallachia. That is what that looks like. During this time, you will probably get the event Faceting, where gems will start being produced in Constantinople. Once we've taken care of Albania, it is time for our first war against the Mamluks, where we're gonna be taking back Syria's cores. Even though they may look very powerful, trust me, you are way more powerful than them. The Mamluks almost never have any strong allies, but they might have 2 or 3 subjects. And I'm just gonna declare a reconquest for Antioch. For your second age ability, you should take Justified Wars. Now once you get around 80 to 90% war score against the Mamluks, it is time to piece them out, like I said, for all of Syria's cores. I'm also gonna get war reps from them. And just like that, we've taken out a huge chunk out of the Mamluks, very high def provinces that would have taken like 2 or 3 wars to get if we didn't have serious cores on them. Aggressive expansion is still not bad at all, so it's time to shift our focus back to the Balkans. Of course, once you unlock the workshops, you need to start building them in all the high value trade good provinces, such as the ones that produce gems, paper, silk, cotton, iron, copper, and so on. Now it's time to declare on whoever you have claims on over here, probably Wallachia or Bosnia or Herzegovina or something like that. In my case, I am gonna declare on Herzegovina to get Bosnia's cores back, but I'm also gonna co-belligerent Wallachia since we do have claims on them. Just fight whoever is the weakest out of anyone you have claims on here. For your second idea group, you should take diplomatic or influence ideas. This is once again a continuation of the classic blobbing opening. We're not gonna really need military ideas, maybe even at all the entire game. Of course, you could take them later, and in my case, I am going to be taking influence ideas, since we are playing very heavily with subjects. If you don't have this many subjects, you could go with Diplo. And of course, we are gonna shift focus to diplomatic. And now that I'm done with this war, I'm gonna give these 2 provinces to my subject Bosnia, and I'm gonna be full annexing Wallachia. Of course, you will be full annexing whoever you're fighting over here, maybe feeding your vassals, or maybe even vassalizing. Just check whatever gives you the least aggressive expansion. Once you clean up all of these areas that you have claims on over here, such as Bosnia, Serbia, and Wallachia, you will be able to unlock a couple of missions, such as Conquer Bosnia and Conquer Wallachia. Now we have claims on Hungary and Dalmatia as well, but either way, it's time to go back in this direction. Now it's time to declare our second war against AQ, if they still exist. If not, you're gonna be fighting whoever has these provinces right here that you have claims on. In my case, they have gotten some stronger allies, such as the Great Horde right now, but it still won't be a problem. We're just gonna be taking everything we have claims on, and maybe even Syria's last core in this province over here, if they still have it. And when it's time to peace out Akkuyunlu, depending on what they have, they are a little bit bigger in my case than they normally would be. I am gonna take the provinces I have claims on, I'm gonna make them give back Syria's core right here, and I'm also gonna get the province of Sinjar. Now, these 2 provinces right here, Sinjar and Mosul, are the first ones you're gonna be conquering when going in this direction that Iraq has cores on. But you can't release Iraq from Mosul since the primary culture is Kurdish, so you are gonna wanna get Sinjar as soon as possible. In my case, I'm gonna get it in this war. I'm also gonna get all their money. Now, we will be releasing the nation of Iraq from this province right here. They also got this one for some reason. I guess they have a core on it too, but they also have cores on these provinces down here. Another big subject, an excellent subject to use for reconquest, probably on par with Syria. And now we have even more provinces we can take for way cheaper. Now it's time for a quick little war against Hizn Kaifa to take the last province from our claims so we can unlock even more claims. And I can also do a reconquest on them too, in fact. And I am gonna be giving Hizn Kaifa to my subject Iraq. If you don't have Iraq yet, just full annex them. Once you have all the provinces over here that we had claims on from this mission, we can take this mission. It gives us even more claims over here. We will be reconquering all of these provinces with the help of Iraq. We will be taking these ourselves, and we will be taking Trebizond ourselves as well. We can feed these provinces up here to Crimea if we have them, but if you don't, it's not a big deal. This region right here isn't very important to us. Now that we're done with that, it's time to get back to this part of the world and fight Hungary for the first time. And like I said, now it's time for our first war against Hungary. They may be a junior partner of Austria during this time, like in my case too, So I am gonna have to fight all of Austria's allies along with Bohemia and Burgundy. So it literally can't get any harder than this. Austria is probably the most powerful they can be with Hungary, Bohemia, and Burgundy. So this is gonna be a pretty difficult war. Either way, we can definitely win it. We are the Ottomans. I'm just gonna declare a reconquest for Belgrade right here. And this is everyone I'm fighting. Luckily, I can call in Tunis, not that they'll be much help. Our main goal in this first war against Hungary is to give Serbia's corps back from these two provinces and to get a few provinces over here which we can release the nation of Transylvania from. So now I have about 30% war score versus Austria. This is, like I said, a really difficult war. They have so much manpower, and I think this is the time for me to peace out. Of course, in your situation, Austria won't probably be as strong as this, although they might be, so you need to be careful either way. But I am gonna give these two provinces back to Serbia. Those are their cores, and I'm also gonna get this province right here so I can release Transylvania from it. In your case, you might be able to get way more, but this is a very difficult situation for me, so it's time for me to peace out. Either way, we got the most important thing that we needed, Transylvania, and now we will be releasing them. They have cores on these provinces over here. Now it's time for me to build back another army because I completely lost my second army. I did merc up though. And by around the 1480s, your game should look a little something like this. Basically, we've dominated Anatolia and the Balkans already. We have a couple of subjects over here like Bosnia, Serbia, or Wallachia, and we have even more subjects that we can use to reconquer, such as Transylvania from these provinces over here. You could even release Dalmatia for the coastal provinces, Croatia for these provinces up here, Nitra for these ones over here. We also have other subjects that we used or will use to reconquer very valuable provinces from really quickly, such as Syria in these lands over here or Iraq in these provinces up here. You could even release Armenia from some of these provinces. They have a bunch of cores around here. And we've basically defeated all our main rivals, which would be the Mamluks and Austria and Hungary. We have been building marketplaces in all the center of trade provinces, and we've built workshops in all the high value trade good provinces, which I already explained which ones they are. Governing cap at this point is not a problem at all, since we do have the Ottoman government, we're an empire, and we took admin ideas for our first idea group, and we will continue to expand in all directions. Now, something I see a lot of new players do with the Ottomans is they go down here and they go up here in their expansion routes. That is not something you want to focus on. In Europe, basically, you don't want to push further than Hungary, at least until the 1700s. It's not something we really need to focus on. Of course, depends on what your goals are, but still, we're going to dismantle Hungary and then we're going to be stopping about here. This will give us major control over Ragusa and Pest, and it will effectively turn Constantinople into an end node, since no trade will be going out from it. There's no need to expand in this direction because these provinces are poor. They make trade goods that aren't very valuable and they're low dev provinces. There's no need for us to expand in this direction whatsoever, except maybe expand Crimea if you have them in the Crimea trade node, but that's it. No need to go into Astrakhan or Kiev or into the Ruthenia, Russia, Ural regions. Basically, you want to stop in the Caucasus. In this direction, you will be expanding into the Mamluks and into Tunis and Safi and so on. You do want to go this way. And you could even push into Iberia from down here. In this direction, you're going to want to stop around here somewhere once you have the Gulf of Aden and the Ethiopia trade nodes. Basically, the Horn of Africa region. You are going to be taking the entirety of Arabia, and you're going to be moving into Persia, Khorasan, and India as soon as possible. Like for example, once you have Iraq and you reconquer all of their cores over here, you're gonna try and reach this province down here. Then you're gonna be fighting everyone and basically snaking your way to India all along the coast until you reach about here. And then you will start expanding in India in a couple of different directions, fighting the Hindus in the south, the Sunnis in the north, and the Shias in the center if Bahmanis still exist. That way you will disperse your aggressive expansion. Now, some people would say that you should trade company Aleppo as soon as you can to get another merchant. I don't really think that's necessary. In my opinion, I would start trade companying all of these regions over here. So Lahore, Gujarat, Doab, Bengal, Deccan, and Coromandel. There's no need to trade company Persia, Hormuz, Basra, and Aleppo, but you could if you want to. It really depends. And of course, once you have those trade companies, you're going to be getting a ton of merchants and routing trade all over in the most complex way possible to maximize trade and get it to Constantinople. So basically what you want to own is Carpathia, the Balkans, Anatolia, Mashriq, Egypt, the Maghreb, Horn of Africa, Arabia, Persia, Caucasia, Khorasan, Hindustan, Western India, Deccan, Coromandel, and Bengal. That is approximately what the perfect, and that's in quotation marks, Ottoman gameplay would look like according to me. For your next government reform, you should take Administrative Clergy for Tier 4. For Tier 5, you should take Royal Decree or General Estates. For Tier 6, you should take L'État c'est moi. For Tier 7, you should take Political Absolutism. For your next idea groups, you can go with Humanist or Economic. For your fourth one, you're gonna see no rebellions if you take this one, and it meshes very well with the Ottomans' national ideas. For your fourth one, you can take Diplomatic or Influence depending on what you didn't take, or you could even take Trade. And after that, it's pretty much up to you. You could pick up some military ideas or whatnot. And like I said, this is what you should basically be focusing on doing if you're playing as the Ottomans. Releasing and reconquering subjects, you're stronger than anyone you're fighting, and there's no reason to not fight anyone. Even in such a difficult war like the one I just had versus Austria, Hungary, Bohemia, Burgundy, Savoy, and Saxony. The Ottomans have two unique achievements. The first one is definitely the Sultan of Rum, where you need to own Rome, Moscow, and Istanbul as the Ottomans or Rum, and have cores on them. Pretty simple, and it's a nice little goal to have if you haven't played the Ottomans before. The second one is Parisian Pasha, where you need to assign a Pasha to the province of Paris, which apparently England owns in my case. So how do you do that? Basically, once you conquer Paris, you will just click on that province, click on the state, and click this button, Assign Pasha, and you will get that achievement. Now I know this guide isn't anything special and nothing we haven't seen before, but a lot of people have asked for an Ottomans guide, and there you go. This is my Ottomans guide. If you're not that confident in your abilities, or if you're not sure if your game is gonna go like mine, this save file will be available to all YouTube members, and you can continue from this date forward. Let me know in the comments below what's the next nation that I should do a guide on. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to leave a like and subscribe, since only 20% of you are subscribed, and you can become a member today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with another EU4 video.